Okay, hey you guys, we're so excited to have Meg Kozlowski on today. Meg was in the 80-day obsession coach test group and she got phenomenal results. And today she's going to tell us all about her journey and she's going to focus in a lot on the time nutritional plan and help give us her best tips. So it's so incredibly awesome to have Meg on today. And you'll see some other coaches that are on. We are going to be drilling Meg with some questions. How do you feel about that, Meg? At the end, to make sure that we cover as much ground as we can to make this process so much easier for all of us, because we're so excited to do this right and we just want to have all the information we can. So Meg, thanks for being here today and we're so excited to learn from you. So take it away.
Sure, absolutely. Now I'm nervous about all the questions being drilled at the end. I'm usually like someone who I hate surprises. Like my husband had to learn that way up front. He tried to throw me a surprise party and I forced him to tell me. I'm horrible at that. So hopefully I don't lose my mind. I'm just kidding. And normally I don't sound like a smoker. I'm just getting over a cold, guys. But I feel really honored to be able to come on and talk to you guys about something that was such a big part of my life just a couple months ago. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking it's not the ideal time. I have a trip coming up or my kids are, in and out of snow days or whatever excuses you're telling yourself as to why you can't fully go into this program. I want you to throw them out the window because when I got picked to be a part of this test group, I knew I had to do it. And my husband and I had already been trying to conceive our second child. And I pretty much told him, we got to put a hold on that until I get through this program because I want to fully commit myself to this plan. And when I first saw it, you guys, we didn't know anything. We knew that they put us into this group that was called ADD test group. Okay, so I'm thinking, are they telling me that I have ADD? What are they trying to tell me right now? We didn't know the trainer. We didn't know anything. Okay, so I want you guys to just know that all of the test group participants that went into this plan, we didn't know anything until a week ahead, just like you guys do. Okay, so for those of you that are freaking out, oh my God, I just found out the meal plan. You already know way more than we do, okay? Because when we actually got the meal plan, it was 2 days before we started, okay? We knew this idea of time nutrition, but we had no idea of how it was gonna go, okay? And that's how life happens sometimes. It's inconvenient, okay? But you have to know that you have to tailor your life around this plan. Okay, so I know I hear a lot of people say I'm going to tailor this plan to how my life is. It's backwards, okay, especially for this plan that's called 80-day obsession. You need to become obsessed to be able to get the best results possible, okay? So you need to tailor your life around this plan. When I started, like I said, we were trying to conceive. I had 3 trips planned. One of them was a trip to Chicago with some buddies, and how can you skip pizza in Chicago? Okay, another one was flying to Utah for a team retreat, surrounded by my team when I usually like to just relax and enjoy food and all that kind of stuff. And so I had to know up front what these trips were and say, okay, I will be 100% on track during these trips. And I'll tell you, I was. I was 100% on track because I made that decision, you guys. And if you follow this plan to the best to your ability, okay, you're going to get amazing results. I also want to make sure I mention up front, you guys, that if you slip up, don't beat yourself up. Okay, don't be like, oh my gosh, I had an extra teaspoon of peanut butter, or maybe you just have a rough day and don't drink alcohol. It's the worst thing that you could do during this. But you have, I don't know, an extra portion of something or an extra carb or something. Don't beat yourself up, okay? Just refocus on that next meal, okay? It doesn't mean that you completely destroyed the meal plan just because you messed up once, okay? So even after 2 months, and I want to make sure I mention this, you guys, even after 2 months of being done with this plan and doing different programs, because I wanted to give myself a break from 80-day obsession, because yes, my husband and I will be starting January 15th, I have still stuck to the time nutrition. And when I hear people say, I'm so stressed out about this nutrition. You guys, that's the one thing. I'm a nutritionist. I love food. I love food. I love eating healthy. Yes, I have my not so healthy foods that I love, but I was stressed out. I was like, oh my gosh, I work from home. Okay, I just have one kid. There's no reason that I should be stressed. But I was stressed out because I was like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to wrap my head around eating all of these different containers throughout the day? It seems like a lot, right? You're like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm coming from eating 3 or 4 meals and now I'm eating 5 or 6 times throughout the day. But I allowed myself to be stressed out the first week and said, you're going to nail it. You're going to nail it the first week. I had a screenshot of the meal plan, like the containers, in my phone. Okay, so I could easily grab it. I had one printed out on my fridge. So anytime I went to grab something to eat, I knew exactly what I had to eat. And by that second week, you guys, I pretty much had it memorized. Okay, and I was like, okay, I know that in the morning, my pre workout meal is going to be this. And I know that after, my post workout is going to be this. And it just started to work like clockwork. Okay, not only that, is that I started to feel really good. Okay, like you hear a lot of people say, like, week 2, you start craving stuff. On this meal plan, because you're fueling your body with the right portions, you guys, I wasn't craving stuff. You know, if we were watching TV and like a commercial of like ice cream would come on, which is my thing, I was like, Kirk, this is so weird. I don't even want it. And that's the first thing that's ever, or the first time that's ever happened to me, you guys. First time. Okay. But the reason that this happened, you guys, is because I made the decision. Okay. I made the decision to say, I'm going to go all in. I have control over this. Okay. It's not like they're forcing me to eat this way. Okay, they did tell us if we didn't follow the meal plan that we would be thrown out of the test group or our results would be thrown out. And I'm like, oh, I don't want that to happen, okay? But they were saying that you have control, right? There's not someone breathing down your neck. And having that control and telling yourself, this is my decision to do something for my body, to become obsessed with something and creating the healthiest version of myself, not with gimmicks, but through proper food, fitness and nutrition and self-care. This is a chance for 80 days to help myself feel the best that I can. Okay, so you guys have such an amazing opportunity right now to treat your body the way that it should be treated. Okay, so just think about that, you guys. You have control over this, okay? And if you go into this knowing that, you're going to have such a different mindset as opposed to, oh, I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I can't eat that. If you say, I'm choosing not to have that glass of wine, I'm choosing to have a sweet potato as opposed to a piece of white bread, you know, like whatever, you're going to feel better. Okay. So the other thing that I struggled with, you guys, and I think a lot of people are struggling with this, is the 60-minute workouts, right? I've had so many people say, I don't know if I can handle 60-minute workouts because we're so used to 30 minutes. Guys, the times are changing again, okay? Like before, people really wanted these short, quick workouts. Our world is changing again where our bodies need longer workouts, okay? And the way that Autumn sets the workouts up is you're not gonna get bored, okay? Like every time I go through an 80-day obsession workout, 1, I get my butt kicked, okay? But 2, I'm like, because they didn't have the clock. I don't know if they'll have the clock on the ones that we have. I don't think A Little Obsessed had one. You have no idea how long you've been working out unless you have a watch, right? And you're like, oh my God, at the end, you're like, oh my God, it's already done? I'm like drenched and I'm sweaty. And I love the fact that I just burned so many calories, but that was 60 minutes. That was 60 minutes. And yes, it's going to take a sacrifice. I know there's some people who have to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to get these workouts in, right? The first week, you're going to be like, this sucks. Okay, just know that up front. But your body's going to adjust. Okay, and you're going to realize, okay, if I'm waking up earlier, because Autumn wants you to get 8 hours of sleep a day, you guys. I know that's hard, but you need it. Kristen's like, I got this. But you're going to be going to bed earlier, okay? So your body is going to feel ready for those workouts, okay? You're going to be very, very surprised. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, and just traveling, guys. Like I know that we have this weird thought process of when we like take trips that it's like time off, right? And we're like, well, I'm just gonna enjoy food and maybe I'll work out, maybe I won't, or like whatever, you know, it's vacation. But then, you know, you kicked your butt for how long and you feel amazing. And then the second that you eat something that your body isn't supposed to have, that you didn't have on this 80-day obsession plan, like the clean food, it looks like you gained everything back, right? That inflammation comes back, that bloat comes back. You want to look good in your bathing suit, but you just had that piece of cake, so now you just feel like crap. And I know for me, it's like so frustrating because it's like I just kicked my booty for how long, and within minutes my results are gone. Okay, so know that just because you go on vacation, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself. You've just got to pick healthier choices. Okay, it's just a mindset shift, you guys. Okay, so I want to dive in a little bit into the workouts, you guys. So the first thing that I think is really important for people to know is that there's 3 different phases, and I know you guys probably already know this already, but there's 3 different phases, and then there's something called peak week. Okay, so I think it's 12 weeks, and then you have 1 week of peak week, if I remember correctly. And peak week is a lot of fun, okay, because what she does is she pulls a workout from each phase, okay, like the hardest cardio workout, the hardest booty workout, the hardest leg workout, and the nutrition changes a little bit. I don't know how much I can share, but just know it's like 21 Day Fix Extreme when you start carb depleting. That's a little different. Okay, so she gives you the option to do that at the end of the program. Now, the first 3 phases, don't worry about having to deplete carbs, okay? You're training your body to work the way it's supposed to, okay? And so many people, and I think Erin, you said this, so many people are so fearful of eating more calories. You know, I have customers of mine coming to me and saying, oh my God, I figured out my weight loss formula and it said I should be eating like 1,700 calories. And I'm used to eating 1,200. I don't know if I can eat that. Should I pop down? No, the formulas are there for a reason, you guys. They are set up to give your body the fuel it needs in order to lose weight, okay? So if you figure out the formula and it puts you in a certain bracket, go into that bracket, okay? What I would what I would say is a big part of this, and I'll get into this a little more in a second, is that if you start having some hunger cues, we're gonna bump you up. Okay, so I'll get into that in a second if I don't, remind me. The other thing about the workouts is, yes, it's 80 different workouts, okay? But the way that it's set up is that from, you know, in phase 1, you have 4 weeks, and total body core, it's all the same moves, you guys. Okay, so you would be doing every single move that's the same in total body core for the first phase. Every single move the same in booty. But what changes is the reps. Okay, and then phase 2, it's the same names. I had a lot of people freak out, like, wait a second, I thought we were getting all different like workouts. It's the same name, but all different moves. Okay, same for phase 3. Same names, but all different moves. Okay, so you're gonna constantly be feeling like you're doing different things from day to day, from week to week. Okay, so don't freak out. You're not going to get bored. You're going to see that this program flew by. Like, I was so overwhelmed with saying, oh my God, I'm committing to 80 days of like not messing up at all. And I remember looking at Kirk at day 75 and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is it already day 75? I don't want it to end. And that wasn't just me. That was like the whole entire test group, you guys. Like, if I took you into the test group and showed you from when we ended, people were crying, people were, you know, sharing their hearts, people were like, I am not stopping, because it really is something that completely changes you from the inside out, and the way that you look at your body, treat your body, fuel your body. Okay, so let's talk about some of the band things. So I've had people be like, even my husband, he's like, I'm not going to be using these bands. I'm like, yes, you are. You're going to be using the bands. They're there for a reason, okay? But just know, on all of the days that are not cardio, so not total body core and cardio flow, okay? You don't need pants for most of them, okay? But for every other workout, you want to wear capris or pants. That was hard for me. I always wear shorts, okay? But you need to when you're having these bands around your legs, you guys, okay? Now, I also found that the slippery workout pants, not a good idea, okay? You want like more of the fabric kind so that they don't slide down your leg. Also take deep breaths, okay? They roll. They roll, they roll, they roll, they roll. I would have to do like meditation in the middle of my workout and just know like, okay, this is normal, guys. Take your time, take deep breaths, unroll them, okay? Make sure they're on your leg, the right spot, and then move forward, okay? Don't freak if they roll. Don't try to keep doing the move and keep up with Autumn if they roll. Just pause it. Like, you guys have the option to pause it. I didn't. I was like, oh man, I gotta catch up, you know, because we were doing it live. So be okay with it rolling. The other thing is that you'll find the right, like the sweet spot on your legs to put them. For me, it was like an inch or two above my knee where they won't roll. Okay, yes, sometimes they still did, but for the most part, they didn't. The last thing about the bands is if they're rolling constantly and you're like, I have the right pants on, I have it in the right spot, and they keep rolling, the chances of you needing to bump up on your bands is very, very highly, especially if you're a woman, because we've got strong legs. Guys are stronger upper body, women are stronger lower body. So by like, I think it was week 2, I was already up to a blue and a green together, okay? Because I have very strong legs. That's okay, guys. You want to make sure that you're feeling it. And she'll remind you that through the workouts, okay? Okay, let's talk about self-care, because self-care is like a really new thing for people. And I was so excited that they added it into this group because I have thyroid issues, okay? I'm very open about the fact that I have thyroid issues. So I have to do a lot of self-care so that I don't crash. I've had adrenal fatigue. I've had all of those symptoms when I wasn't treating my body right. So what do I mean by self-care? Taking care of yourself, okay? So with these workouts, they're hard, you guys. You need a lot of self-care, okay? There's 2 stretching workouts that come with this plan, okay? And they're about 10 to 15 minutes each, and one has a foam roller, and one is just normally stretching, okay? And so I would suggest having a foam roller if you don't already, okay? Because that was my favorite workout, especially with the fact that using these bands, like that spot in between your hamstring and your booty, ooh, you're gonna wanna stretch it out, you guys, okay? So what I would do is I would, a couple times a week, you don't have to do it every single day, but usually after the booty day and the leg day, I would do some kind of stretching, okay? It doesn't have to be 30 minutes or yoga or any of that stuff, just 10 to 15 minutes of stretching out your body, okay? On Sunday, hopefully you guys have figured this out by now, out of the 80 days, they don't count Sundays, okay? So Monday through Saturday is day 1 through day 6, okay? And this freaked a lot of people out because they're like, are we ending on a Tuesday? No, okay? So Sunday, that doesn't get a date, okay? That is not day 7. I know it's gonna mess with our heads a little bit, okay? So really you're doing a plan for like 90-ish days, okay? So just know that up front. Day 7 is that next second week of Monday, okay? So 1 through 6 is first week, and then 7 through, I can't do math, 13 is the next week, okay? I think I added that right. You guys are laughing at me. It's true, I suck at that. So just know that up front and use Sunday as a stretching day. That's the day where I would do both stretching workouts. They're only 30 minutes together, and use that time, and I'll get into this in a second, to meal prep, okay? The other thing with self-care, you guys, is if you're someone who it's really hard to like relax, I would suggest forcing yourself to take at least a couple baths a night, okay? It doesn't have to be a 30-minute bath. I would hop in there at first and be like, okay, set my timer, Kirk, tell me when 10 minutes is up, you know, because it's like I can't sit in there very long. Then by the end of it, it was like I was in there for 20 minutes, and you'd be like, are you alive? Like, you're still in here. But I would put Epsom salts in there to help release those toxins, you guys. Even taking a little bit longer of a shower helps your body kind of detox, okay? And the last thing with self-care, you guys, is just like I said before, making sure you're getting enough sleep, because it was crazy. Some people who were doing everything right, they'd be like, I'm gaining weight all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. I'm eating completely on track. I'm killing it in the workouts. I'm doing my self-care, except for the sleep. And they'd be like, I only got like 6.5 hours of sleep, every single night this week. And I remember Autumn saying, so if you looked at it over the course of a week, that's like a whole night's sleep that you missed out on, because she wants you to have at least 8 hours. I get it. I have a toddler who woke me up all last night. So some nights it's not going to be so easy to get those 8 hours, but when you can, do it. Okay. Okay, so let's dive into the nutrition, since I know that this is like the big part. Don't stress out over it, you guys. You guys have a meal plan in front of you right now. There are so many resources. Let me take a sip so I don't cough in your face. There's so many different resources of meal plans that I hope Jamie and Aaron saw. Someone put like a link in the round table of all these different meal plans, you guys. What worked best for me is to find meals that fit the containers, and I repeated them over and over and over again until I got really sick of them. Like I would have the same pre-workout meal almost every single day. And they changed it a little bit. Like we had an orange with our pre-workout, so now we're all a little thrown off. We're like, wait, I don't get an orange anymore. But you're gonna find that there's some foods that you feel more fueled with, and other foods that you feel more drained with. For me, I could not have oatmeal as my carb before a workout, because it would sit really heavy and it would make me really tired. Shakeology, I would have to go to the bathroom like 5 times. like just so much liquid. So you'll find what works best for you. Okay. For me, my carb was a sweet potato with a teaspoon of coconut oil. Okay. And then I'd have like ground turkey. I can't have eggs, but some people would do eggs. You can really just do anything. Don't think of just breakfast food. Okay. Have fun with the meal plan. The other thing is that I know Autumn's talked about this, but moving the containers from each meal, hard no, you guys. Hard no. Okay. If you look at the way that the meal plan's set up, where it's like 5 or 6 meals, depending if you have a performance line or not. The only thing you can move around, you guys, is the pre-workout meal. Okay. So if the pre-workout meal, instead of eating, I think it's like 4 containers or something, instead of eating that, because you're like, that's heavy, I work out early in the morning, move the smaller meal. I think it's from Plan Bracket A or whatever, where it's like a green, red, and a oil or something like that, something little. You can move that up to your pre-workout meal, okay, and then move the pre-workout meal down to where the one that you took would go, okay? So don't touch that workout block other than the pre-workout meal, okay? Now for the last 3 meals, it says like other meals. You guys can move what time you do those. So say that you're like, I like the 4th meal better than the 5th meal at nighttime. You can do that. Just don't move the containers in that meal. Okay, so if it has a green, a red, an oil, and a purple, you can't move those. You can't say, I don't want a purple, so I'm going to add an extra green. No, okay, like it was put together by very, very smart nutritionists, okay? And they looked at how the body works. And they did exactly what we've been asking for years, you guys, to say, when should I eat these certain things, And I know for me, when I was doing 21-day fix, I would end up having all of my fat and my teaspoons at nighttime, right? Because I'd be like, I want to have all the teaspoons of peanut butter at nighttime as my dessert, And then that's not good. But you'll find that you're more fueled throughout the day. Okay, so you're not going to be as hungry. You're going to feel really good. And you're going to like the fact that they spread it out and force you to eat those containers at certain times. Okay, so don't mess with it. Okay, don't mess with it. And even with me, guys, so if you get hungry, okay, this is where it gets really important. Say that you're in bracket A. A lot of people fall into bracket A automatically. Just from a nutritional standpoint, I think that bracket A is BS. Okay, I don't like it. I don't think anyone should be eating 1,200 calories. Okay, but if you fall into that plan, try it out. Give yourself 1 week. Okay, and if at day 7 you're like, I am starving, I'm gonna rip someone's head off, like I am not sleeping, like you're waking up throughout the night, you're really sore, like you feel like your muscles can't get repaired, you can't even talk to your husband without wanting to punch him in the face, like you just have all these signs and you feel like you don't have enough energy throughout the workouts. You can ask my husband, he was like, can you please eat more? Like he was like, oh my God, what's going on? But if you feel like you can't even get through the workouts, you guys, I would suggest bumping up to your maintenance bracket. Now that's going to scare a lot of people, okay? Like I jumped from 1,200 calories up to 1,800 to 2,100. Like it was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of food. But when you're eating clean, you guys, your body's burning through that fuel, okay? So you're not eating these processed carbs where it takes longer for your body to burn it up. You're eating clean sources of carbs, protein, fruit, healthy fats. So your body is like, thank you, you're giving me more fuel. Now I'll let your body lose some weight. Okay, so you have a very small window of time. And this was really interesting for me to see because you have a very small window of time when you're going through those symptoms of not just being hungry, okay, because anytime we change our eating, you guys, you're going to have a little bit of adjustment, okay, like especially if you're like not really tracking your nutrition right now and you go to eating really clean, normal for you to be hungry, okay, totally normal. Your body will start adjusting. But if you find at day 7 it's not adjusting and those symptoms are continuing on, you have a very small window to bump up. If you bump up, your body will meet you, okay? If you don't, your body will drop, okay? And you will go to the fact where your body will only be able to handle 1,200 calories. When you want to eat more, I don't know about you guys, but I love food. So I was like, 1,800 calories, bring it on. I can lose weight in do that. And guys, I ended up losing, you know, over 10 pounds and over 10 inches that I didn't think I had to lose on this plan, eating 1,800 calories at a 5'4" frame. Okay, like I'm not very tall. So it was pretty cool for me to see, and made me realize, even as a nutritionist, that food is fuel, you guys, and our body needs the right amount of fuel. Okay, so if you're not gonna do that, you're gonna get frustrated with your results, because what I saw some people do in the test group is it scared them when Autumn said that. And they're like, I'm just gonna stick in this bracket and see what happens. And they stopped seeing results. Okay, their body was like, nope, I don't know what you're doing to me. Okay, and their symptoms continued and they stopped seeing results. That's not fun. You want to continue to see results. Okay, so if you're working out in the morning, you guys, like I said before, take the smaller meal. I think it's like meal 4 on every single bracket, and flip that one for the pre-workout meal, and then just move the pre-workout meal to your meal 4. Okay, super simple. Okay, and you should be able to just within a couple minutes go work out and be fine. Okay, now if you are working out at the end of the day and you're like, you know what, I I can't eat all of this food. What I would suggest doing, if you're not doing recovery, okay, so you don't have the performance line, you're not doing recovery, you can combine your post-workout supplement and post-workout meal. Okay, so the way that the post-workout supplement is set up is it says you're supposed to have a fruit and recovery. Okay, and then you wait an hour or two, and then you have your post-workout meal. Combine those 2 meals. Okay, so you grab your fruit and then your post-workout meal. Okay, a lot of people did Shakeology at night because it is a little lighter, and that way you don't have to feel like you're eating a ton of food. Okay, but you're gonna find that you need that fuel post-workout. Okay, it's a mindset shift, you guys, because you're eating more than you're used to, but your body needs it. If you don't do that, you're gonna wake up starving, starving in the morning. Okay, it's not fun. The other thing is with working moms. Okay, I know Erin was asking. So if you're a working mom with the planned food, you have to plan. You have to plan. Okay, in the first week, it's gonna feel chaotic. Allow yourself to have that chaos. Lean into the group. Ask questions. Ask feedback. Ask people what's working for them, and be okay with the chaos for the first week. Because after the first week, it's gonna start becoming just a part of your routine. Okay, it's almost like when you're teaching your baby to sleep. Okay, like to sleep through the night. The first couple days, it sucks, right? You're like, they're not catching on. And then all of a sudden, it's like a light switch goes off, and they're like, sleep through the night. Same thing with this, okay? Your body and you will adjust. It's different, it's weird, but you have to do something different in order to get something different, okay? I know we've heard that before, but actually take it to heart with this plan, you guys, okay? It's laid out for a reason, okay? And if you look at the people who made it through the test group and the amazing results that they got, it's because not all of us had the same schedules. You know, I work from home and I have a toddler, okay? So it might be a little easier for me, but compared to someone who has a younger child who's working outside of the house, who's, you know, there was a stewardess who crushed it, okay, that was traveling all the time. There was women who lived, and men, who lived in Florida during the hurricanes, you guys, and got amazing results. So there's gonna be times where it feels chaotic. You just have to lean in, you guys, and trust the process, okay? No matter what your schedule is. Yes, it's gonna take some planning up front, and I'm not a good planner, but it's so worth it, you guys, okay? The other thing I want to suggest is if you have to travel, I invested in something called the 6-pack. Is that what's the name of it? Six-pack cooler. Okay, so it's the letters or the number 6-pack cooler, and I got it on Amazon. It's freaking amazing. Okay, these ice packs are made out of gel, and I traveled from Toledo to Utah, and it took us like, I don't know, it took me like 8 hours or something to actually get to the house, and it stayed cold the whole time. Okay, because when you travel, you need to make sure that your ice packs stay frozen because they won't let you take food through. Okay, and I didn't have issues bringing my food through in the little containers. Like, it just keeps everything really simple. It's a little expensive, but it's so worth it, you guys, because now I'm like, gosh, I can take this on family trips. I've taken it when, like, we've had to go, you know, like I said, family trips and stuff, to put Tenley's food in and Kirk's food in. Hopefully with another baby, I can put breast milk in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you can use it more than just the 80-day obsession. So, and one more thing about the nutrition, guys, is that why is the nutrition part so important? So Autumn's had so many people asking her over and over and over and over again, when do I eat this? When do I eat that? When do I eat that? And so they actually sat down for like over a year, you guys, and looked at these different compartments of nutrition and said, okay, how can we give people the best results without cutting out food groups, you guys? Heck yes. You don't have to cut out carbs to see results. Oh, okay. Like you get to keep all food groups. And so they really studied the body. And it was cool to see, even from the time that we went through the test group, how they adjusted the meal plan. Okay. And some people were asking about the refeed days. Okay. So I'm not going to get into this because it's a lot. Okay. It's a lot of overwhelming information, but good information. Okay. And it doesn't come in until week 6. Okay. So this is a 13-week plan. So until week 6, everything stays the same. Okay. Then at week 6, then you can start looking into the refeed day. But the thing that I thought was really cool that made me even more zoned in on the nutrition is that they had the refeed day a certain way. They took our feedback, they took our results from it and said, okay, that didn't work, let's tweak it. So then they tweaked it the next week or the next time that we did it, because you get a refeed meal every 2 weeks. Okay, it's right before leg day. And then they tweaked it and they took our feedback and they took our results and then they tweaked it again. Okay, so it's not like they just threw this in and were like, okay, let's see what happens. They really wanted to make sure that it would work for every single person that did this program. And it just showed me that they are so focused in on getting us the best possible results. That's why you want to follow it, okay? Okay, so containers. A lot of people are like, so do you eyeball what you do? Guys, I use the containers to a T, okay? Like I have so many different containers because I've gotten them over the years. That's nice so I can like wash them or not have to wash every single one as soon as I use it. But I portion out even 10 of these meals with them because it's such a no-brainer, you guys. You don't have to like be nervous that you're overeating or undereating. And with this kind of nutrition, you want to be on point. Okay, so it takes all of that work away from you guys. Just put it in the container, put it out. Okay, and you'll be surprised at how much food you actually get from the containers. So use them. It's a tool to help you get results. Okay. Okay, meal prep. Meal prep. So I am the worst meal prepper ever. I hate planning. I hate meal prepping. I hate any of that stuff, you guys. But for this kind of way to eat, you have to, okay? Because you're eating every 2 to 3 hours too. So when I came in and I was like, I'm not gonna meal prep, I'd be in the kitchen for like an hour. And I'm like, I don't have time to spend an hour making a meal every couple hours. Like I was getting nothing done. So what I would do is on Sundays and Wednesdays, okay, I would meal prep the things that I could. So I'm gluten-free, like I mentioned, and I wanted to be as unprocessed as possible. So I would make a thing of quinoa, takes about 10 minutes to make, and has quite a few portions in just one serving of quinoa that you make from the packet. I would take about 6 organic sweet potatoes and put them in the oven for 400 calories. Or 400 calories, 400 degrees. I'm thinking of food. 400 degrees for 60 minutes. And it was like dessert for me, guys. I'd put a little bit of coconut oil on it and cinnamon, and it was like, oh, like it's so funny how you like crave healthy things when you're eating healthy. It's like, this feels like it shouldn't be this good. But I would portion out and I would, cook up my sweet potatoes, my quinoa, meat. I would, try my best to do variety because I get sick of protein. I hate protein. So I would like cook up some ground turkey and put different spices on it so I would like it, and maybe make some meatballs of the ground turkey. Like have fun with it, you guys. I would cook up some chicken and shred it so that it was easy to grab that. I would get some shrimp and have that all set up. I would have tuna on hand. When I was allowing myself to have dairy, because I also have issues with dairy, I would have some Greek yogurt. And if I was really craving something, I'd put a little bit of stevia. I think Autumn says you can put like a half a teaspoon of stevia in it and mix it up and have some berries. So it felt like, a treat, but that's a protein. Okay. So if you don't have issues with dairy, go for Greek yogurt, not more than once a day. Okay. But that's like a nice little treat for you right there. I would also cook up some hard boiled eggs. And it's something that's easy to grab, you guys. And so I would meal prep all of that, cut up my fruits and my vegetables if possible. If they didn't, like apples, you can't cut up, so I just wash those. But I'd have them all laid out and in my fridge so that I could very easily grab them. Okay, and if I had a crazy day, so those of you that work, I would put from that 6-pack cooler. They come with these little black containers. So I would put all my food together. It didn't look so lovely, but it had everything together so that when I went to work, I had everything laid out. Okay, yes, it took a lot of time on Sundays and Wednesdays, but I was so happy throughout the week that I did it because it saved me so much time, guys. Okay, so just get into the routine of doing it. I was just telling Kirk, I'm like, okay, we got to get back into doing that again because we haven't been doing it. Let's see. Oh, the other thing with nutrition, guys, before I move on to like just the different brackets and how I felt, is that if you can, don't go out to eat. Okay, don't do that to yourself. It's only 80 days. Okay, it's only 80 days. I know I have some clients and coaches that are like, my husband and I go out to eat like every weekend. It's our date night. Come up with other date nights. Go bowling. Go to a movie. Go to a comedy club. Try different stuff other than food, you guys, because what I found is when I would get to a restaurant, I'd be like, oh, this is all I can have. Like you get like these little tiny portions and you still don't know if they made it correctly, right? And you have to be kind of that annoying person, like, please don't put oil on this and don't put butter on this and all that stuff. Or you go completely off and then you feel guilty, right? You're like, oh my God, I fell off the plan. Don't do that to yourself, okay? But if you're like, Meg, our date nights are eating out. My husband is not going to be okay with getting rid of that. Okay, plan ahead. Okay, so I went out to eat with some coaches while they were in town the other day, and what I did is I looked at the meal plan and said, okay, why can I think of it? You know what I mean? All the food that you can get at the restaurant. Okay, menu. There we go. Menu. And I'm so sleep deprived. So I'd look at the menu and I'd say, okay, so what fits the containers? Okay, and yes, I was that kook that brought my containers to the restaurant and said, okay, I'm going to measure out my chicken. Yeah, you might get some eyes, but you also might have some people ask me what you're doing. Okay, so that's not a bad thing. Okay, all right. So a little more on the refeed day, because I know some people are like, okay, let me think about this refeed day. With the refeed day, the one thing that I am going to tell you is that she gives you some extra carbs, okay, and some extra fruit. I can't tell you how many, okay, unless she already has it up there. I don't know if she does or not. But you get an extra couple carbs and an extra couple fruits. And what she wants you to do is eat dirty carbs. Okay, so what I mean by that, it's like Rice Krispies, Fix8 cookies, those whoopie pies from Fix8, like dirty stuff. Some people would like go out and take pictures of themselves like eating hamburgers with like white buns. Jamie's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, because the goal with refeed days, you guys, is to put enough glycogen into your muscles so that when you do leg day, you can push harder, okay? Because if you're continuing to deplete, even though we're eating healthy, we are still depleting our muscles, guys. Your body needs that extra glycogen. Okay, so be okay with it. I knew it freaked me out. I'm like, you're telling me I can't eat a sweet potato? I love sweet potatoes. Like, I lived off of sweet potatoes. And then, by the end of it, I was like, give me some Cheerios, like give me some of this stuff. Okay, so last thing I want to go over, you guys, is brackets. So like I said before, make sure that you're focusing on how you feel, okay, and don't get so caught up in the calories. Autumn, I think she said this, she said it to us at least, if you have 5 to 10 pounds to lose, okay, and you feel like you're starving that first week, kind of like how I mentioned at the beginning, don't even hesitate bumping up to your maintenance, okay? I already know I'm going to be eating in bracket C, okay? Now my husband, who also is like very calorie crazy, he's like, I am not eating in that bracket. And I'm like, just you wait. Like you can start at bracket C with me, even though you've got how many pounds on me and you're a man, you're going to want to go up because you're going to be hangry, So just know if you have 5 to 10 pounds, don't hesitate. Start with your weight loss if that's your goal, but bump up if you need to, okay? Now, if you are eating just weight loss wise at a higher bracket, trust the process, you guys. Trust the process. If you're eating less than your body is needing and you're stuck, you're at a plateau, and you're like, oh my God, why am I not seeing results? It's because you're not eating enough, okay? So let this plan be the one that you do to a T and follow the way it's laid out, and you will be surprised. You will be surprised, okay? Phases. Autumn said this and it made me laugh. Okay, so anyone who's ever had a kid, we all know, everyone knows, there's 3 trimesters, right, to have a kid. The first trimester, you're like super excited, right? It's like all brand new. You don't have really too many symptoms. Maybe you have a little bit of morning sickness, but you're like, I don't have a belly yet. And I'm just so excited. I'm growing this baby. And it's like this big, right? So you're like, yeah, I'm so excited. That's how phase 1 is, right? Everything's fresh and new and exciting, and you're seeing results. And then phase 2, you're like, did I say phase 1? Phase 1. Then phase 2, you're like, oh, I'm starting to feel, you know, in your second trimester, I feel bloated. I don't have that pregnancy belly really yet. So people just think that I gained 20 pounds. Like I just feel gross. And I still have however many weeks until I can see this baby. And you just feel kind of like down. Phase 2, I'm not saying it's going to be horrible. Okay. But for me personally, I was lifting heavier, but my weight loss slowed down completely. Okay. And I was, even though I was eating higher up, you know, and I just had to trust the process and know, okay, I'm still seeing results because I'm able to do more push-ups. Okay, so don't just focus on the scale and inches and pictures, guys. Focus on how much you're lifting. Focus on how many reps you're able to get on your toes. Focus on those kind of things. Focus on how you feel, okay? And then phase 3, it was like, oh, like we're almost done. And she changes up the reps again and the moves, and it's more focused on a little bit of plyo. And so you're lifting a little lighter and you start leaning out. Like it's crazy. Now you can't skip phase 2. Don't you dare do that. And they don't have it set up where you can skip it. I would love to skip it, right? I would love to skip over the second trimester and just go to having the baby, right? But you can't do that, okay? You have to, each phase is set up for a reason, okay? So just learn to love each part of it and understand that it's there for a reason. And if you follow it, you're going to get awesome results. And like I mentioned before, peak week is like the bomb.com. Okay, that's where everything comes together and you feel so strong and so powerful and just so proud of yourself that you just accomplished that. I was very emotional at the end of peak week. I was like, oh my God, I did something so hard. And if you stick with it, you will too. So like I said before, if you want something you've never had, you have to do something different. So go into this plan and say, you know what? It's going to push me out of my comfort zone. It's going to make me feel a little crazy and a little overwhelmed at times, but I know that it's so worth it, okay? Because I have no doubt that you guys are going to fall in love with it like I did. All right, guys, I think that's it. You ready to drill me?
I don't feel like we have to drill you that much, you know? You've made me so, like, I was already excited, and now I'm, like, even more excited. And you've also made me feel very, like, just calm about it. So I appreciate that. But I remember you saying this, Megan, and maybe posting about it on IG stories or something, but like your meals, like you were like, I'm not showing you guys my meals because they're the most random things I'm throwing together. Yeah. And I think a lot of people think I have to have these beautifully like planned out meals, but really it's just a matter of like, what do you like when it comes to a green, you know, what do you like when it comes to carby fat? Like you're like having sweet potatoes every day, you know, like you're throwing things in a bowl and just eating it because food is fuel. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be this like, I don't know. You know what I mean? We think we have to have this salad that has this beautiful like layout and this whatever to be a meal. And even like your dinners might look a little different from like what your family's having because you need to have these specific containers. So you make dinner for your family, whatever, plan that, and then you just eat the containers that you need to have. I mean, and I think that's what we all have to be okay with too. Like it's going to be kind of random at times, but you're not eating because it's something that it's like because you want to eat. You're eating these foods because it's part of the plan that will get you results, and you just have to accept that. I mean, wouldn't you like think that would be something like an expectation?
I think it was Melanie Mitro. We all know that she knows what she's doing. She was like, I just look at the brackets or the containers and I'm like, oh, I need a red, a yellow, a green. I don't care if it makes sense. And that like clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm normal because I'm grabbing Greek yogurt and carrots and, you know, like coconut oil and all this random stuff, you guys. And I'm like, it fits the containers. Like people think I'm crazy and I won't take a picture of it, but I just feel with my body the way it should. So yeah, my food never looks good.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, people need to be okay with that. I want to go back to the foam roller too, because when I went to the Beachbody store to add one to my cart, there were two different sizes. There's a smaller one and there's a longer one. So which one do you think we need for this program? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters. I have the longer one because my daughter likes to go on it with me. So we're like sitting next to each other rolling. I know, pretty funny. But I think you would be fine with just the shorter one.
Okay. That's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? You guys can unmute yourself and ask.
I do have one, and I apologize. Like, I'm like, this is so good. I was going to do a Zoom tonight for a Q&A. I think I might just share this and be like, here you go. I mean, seriously. So I've had a couple people that they work out like late at night. It's like the only time. So I know you said something about, do you still suggest combining the meal? Because I know Autumn said in her video that she posted, like I watched it this morning, that it doesn't matter what time you eat at night. Like that's not going to affect, you can eat as late as possible. So you're suggesting that they can still just after they work out, no matter what time, they can either, if they're doing the performance line, to combine those last meals, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Simple enough.
No. So if they're doing the performance line, they do have to do recovery in the fruit and then wait an hour and then have the other meal. If they're not doing recovery, they can combine those two meals. Does that make sense?
Yes, but so like someone's like, I'm going to work out at night after like at 9 o'clock at night after my kids' sports.
Yep.
So
what I would suggest doing is have your recovery and your fruit downstairs with you where you can just shake it up and drink it because they want you to get it within like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then by the time they get upstairs and they shower and they're ready to like cool down or, relax, they can eat their dinner and then it doesn't matter what time you go to bed. That's such a myth where people think like you have to stop eating 2 hours before you go to bed.
Immediately do recover and then wait. Okay. Then wait and go to bed.
Yep.
Have last meal hour later. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I think it also, like what you said in the very beginning, like I want to like make it into a quote, Meg, like tailor your life around this plan. Like you have to say, this is my plan. Now I have to make everything work around it. And we just have to accept that. And if we want to do it, if we want the results.
Early.
Yeah.
I was 11:18.
So the way that they have this meal plan set up and workouts and
Nice.
is that you should be trying to train yourself like an athlete, right? And these athletes are very strict, right? If you look at Autumn, the way that she performs, the reason she looks so amazing is because she's very strict about how she eats and the way she works out and the way that she has self-care. And she talks about that throughout the program. But you can't just leave it to chance, right? Because I know when I let my life get in the way, it's like I'm forgetting to eat or I'm grabbing something crappy at the end of the night or like whatever. I get stressed out and I eat a huge spoonful of peanut butter or whatever, right? But I can't do that during this plan,
Perfect. Anybody else have any questions? That was good, Meg.
So good. Thank you so much, Meg. It was awesome.
Helpful. And, my goal is to help people get excited about this because I get it. I was super overwhelmed and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But within a week, you're going to be like, heck yes. Like I can't even imagine not eating this way.
And I agree too. First week is hard of any new program. Even a lot of us who've had a lot of experience, like the first week, it's like, and you also, I think you kind of like feel hungry because you're constantly thinking about what can I eat next when? And so food is on your mind. So you think you're hungry. And my piece of advice to everybody is when they think they're hungry, go drink a ton of water and just stay hydrated. Did you guys have like water goals or do you have a water goal each day during this program? Because we're going to be working out a lot. So like, I don't know, like right now I'm recommending that people, like you take your minimum, your body weight divided in half, whatever that is, 70 ounces, 75 ounces, but you actually drink double that. because I think if we stay fully hydrated, if we're getting enough sleep, if we're eating these clean meals, we're going to like be rocking, like seriously rocking. Like, what's your daily water intake, Meg, when you were, or what was it when you were doing 80 Day Obsession? Did you have one?
I'll be honest, I use Hydrate during my workouts, and I found that like a lot of people overlook Hydrate because you're like, oh, I don't want to drink calories while I'm working out. You guys, Hydrate was like a lifesaver for me because I needed it because these workouts are long. Your body needs that electrolyte to be replaced until you can't wait until the end of the workout. It just doesn't work that way. I found that I was really tired at the end of the day if I didn't hydrate properly. The other thing is that I would drink like close to 100 ounces of water throughout the day just because I like water, and I would just drink it naturally. But like you said, Erin, I'm going to encourage people to double what they would normally do because your body needs it. You sweat a lot during these workouts. It's low intensity or low impact, not intensity. Low impact because you're not doing a lot of jumping, but with the fact that you're lifting and heavy and at a faster pace than you're used to, you don't get breaks. We all know autumn. You sweat so much. Every single workout I would get done, I'd be like, oh my God, I am drenched. So you need to replace it with water for sure.
Speaking of weights, what are you recommending people, like what kind of level of weights do you think people should start with phase one? Because I think that's just focus on that and each person will figure out how much they need by the end of it. Like, what are you recommending for your clients for phase one?
Oh, it's so different. Like if someone who has done hammer and chisel and 21 Day Fix Extreme and is used to lifting weights, they're going to be able to lift a lot more, a lot faster. For me, I started lower. I listened. Autumn tells you what she's lifting almost every single move. And that first week, I tried to follow along with her. And then when she would increase, I'd be like, I will double you. Like if you're increasing to 12.5, I'm going to go to 15. And then like either it worked for me or I'm like, oh, I got to stay with Autumn. So use the trackers, you guys. And I would start less the first round because there's a couple rounds in each workout. Start lighter than what you would be normally doing. And if it doesn't feel right, if you feel like you could do more and you're like, I'm not really maxed out, increase it. If you feel like you're dying, decrease it. Like there is no right or wrong way as long as you are progressing because every single body is so different. For me, with having thyroid issues, I couldn't make it through some of these workouts without taking breaks. My heart rate was just getting way too high and I'm like, I'm going to pay for this the rest of the day. So I would have to take breaks. And other people, they could fly through it and be fine. So you have to really listen to your body and know like, okay, I can't push as hard as other people or I can push harder,
That's a really good point because I've had so many people tell me that they're not going to be ready for this program. And then I tried to explain to them, it's not about keeping up with Autumn. It's about you going and doing the best that you can. So I love that you said you took breaks. It's totally fine to take breaks if you need to take a break.
Yeah, especially with the cardio flow program or the workout. You guys will know when you do it the first time. I was like, I need to take a break. I don't care if they're still moving. I'm going to step it out. And then I'll jump back in, and don't beat yourself up because it really matters what you're doing,
Right.
If you're trying to do something that someone else is doing and it's too much for you, your body's not going to be happy with that. But if you take the time to listen to your body and say, you know what? It's okay that I'm not doing what that person's doing. I will get there. Tulin Emery, she modified everything. Like she had some weight to lose and she's like, I'm going to use a chair as much as I possibly can. And by the end, she wasn't using a chair.
Sorry.
Who still has a landline?
I know.
Amen. It stinks still having a landline. We had to when we moved.
I love it.
Yeah. I think that's good. Anybody else? Any final questions for Meg?
Maybe just what are your thoughts for the people are not committing to the performance line?
Okay, so I was so like, I don't know about the performance line because it came out when I was pregnant with Tenley. Okay, and they didn't have a lot of research behind it. Now I hear that you can drink Energize and all that stuff while you're pregnant. Ooh, I'm excited about that. I'm not pregnant, but just in case. I'll live without Energize, okay?
Oh.
With this, they were like, you have to. You have to, if you can, do Energize and hydrate and recovery. And I was like, I really don't want to do it. But the days that I didn't do hydrate, I died during the workouts, you guys. I never skip energize. The days that I did recovery, I felt so much better. Like I wasn't as sore. So I'm a huge, huge believer in the recovery or the performance line if you can do it. Okay, if you have dairy issues, I know that people are recommending the Vega post-recovery drink, and hopefully Beachbody's coming out with something hopefully vegan related. But if you can do dairy, don't skip that stuff, you guys. And like I said, hydrate. That's one of the components that gets skipped over because people are like, do it, okay? Because you're gonna feel such a difference in your workouts. It's crazy. So if you can do it, do it.
And I feel like hydrate's not even very expensive. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that it's not a lot of big expense to take on hydrate.
And a lot of people did their recharge. I didn't personally do that because people kept telling me like, oh, the texture of it is weird. But then other people would be like, oh my God, I love it. I feel amazing. Like, I just feel so great. I didn't do it because I was like, I'm a weird texture person. But if you really want to fully give this program a try it out. You know,
I love recharge. It's my favorite.
You don't have to get it on HG. Just try it out and see how you feel.
Yeah, I love it. I think it tastes like cake batter, and it totally makes me sleep better, and I feel amazing the next morning. I'm all over recharge. I love it. Okay, I think is that good? Are we good, Jamie? Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you so much, Meg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And fully commit yourself. Take your before pictures, take your inches, take your weight, and then put the scale away. Don't get obsessed with the scale, because the fact that you're lifting heavy weights, you are going to see it go up sometimes, and then down, and then up, and then down. Do not get obsessed with the scale, okay? But focus on how you're feeling, because you're going to see crazy results if you commit to this.
Yay.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much. That's so helpful.